back to the terrace garden, I wanted to go over an end of season checklist of all of the things I'm going to do to prepare my garden for winter that might be helpful to you. It is the end of October here. We're in zone 6B. Somehow we have managed to avoid frost so far. I feel like we're a little bit on borrowed time. Nights have been cold, 40s, 50s, but during the day we've been up to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm still getting ripe figs. It's really benefiting my second-year trees. The longer that we still have warm days and no frost, the more fruit I'm going to get from my trees. Make sure that any tags you have on your plants or trees are secure. It's much easier to identify what a tree is when it has leaves on it. And if you have anything potted that you're moving around, that'll definitely make your life easier in the spring. As we approach frost, I leave my potted figs outside until they get maybe 1 or 2 hard frosts on them. That should be enough to cause them to go dormant. From there, they'll go into an unheated garage, and maybe once a month we'll get a cup of water. So for your potted figs, you want them to go dormant. It's okay if they get frost. They're not going to need light over the winter. There's no photosynthesis happening. It will just be water that they need and cold. For the outdoor trees, it's kind of your discretion what zone you're in, how much preparation you think they need. Last year, I covered my trees with mulch at the base, and they essentially died back to the ground. They're about, at the tallest, 10 or 11 feet tall. That's all 1 year's growth. Once my in-ground trees go dormant, I will add mulch at the trunk. I might wrap them in burlap, definitely not plastic. If you do wrap in burlap, for our area, usually around March is when you want to take that protection off so that things don't get moldy. You definitely want to make sure the leaves are off of the tree. Any leftover figs are also removed. I know that's hard, but they're not going to get ripe. Any leaves or organic matter that are around the garden, I have a pepper plant that I'm going to compost. You will be better served getting rid of it now. It has less of a chance to carry pests with it over the winter. If it's not in your garden, leaves or fruit that might have dropped, my suggestion is to either discard it, however your municipality suggests, or compost it. Any potted trees that will go into a greenhouse or a garage for storage, you want to check the pots and the trees also. We have spotted lanternflies in our area. If you do not yet, you are lucky, and the keyword there is yet. They are awful. Just the other day, I was picking some fruit off of one of my first year trees, and the pot had lanternfly eggs on it. If you find those, you want to either scrape them off and crush them, discard them. You can also spray them with alcohol. That's what I did first, and then clean it up, get rid of it. They're disgustingly invasive. They're everywhere, and they will do damage to your trees. They love maples, grapes. They've done a lot of damage to vineyards. I don't even grow grapes. I would love to, but they're just too much of a headache. So definitely check your pots for any pest. In addition to cleaning up organic matter, I'm going to winterize my rain barrel. I will probably drain it in the next few weeks. You want to make sure there's no water in your rain barrels over winter. The water will expand when it forms ice and can crack. Not only will I drain my barrel, I will also disconnect it from the downspout and close that off. It's also a good time to make any upgrades to your rain barrel system if you have one. I'm going to install a higher flow spigot on the front of the barrel to fill watering cans. The next thing that we'll be coming up on in November will be taking cuttings from dormant trees. There's also some excellent fig sales online to buy cuttings if you're into propagating. If you've never done it, it's worth your time. It's awesome. Even if you don't have a lot of room, you can grow figs in a pot. They just need winter protection because they don't have the earth to insulate them. That might also depend on the zone that you're living into. One final tip, if you have herbs in your garden, this is a great time to harvest and dry anything like oregano that you have or sage. You can use a food dehydrator. I use a small convection toaster oven on the lowest setting. If you want to try to preserve any of your fresh herbs for cooking over the winter, now's a great time to take care of that. Do you have any other tips for closing up your garden at the end of the season? Let us know in the comments below. Love to hear what you would have to say. Thanks for watching. Cool. Okay. So the next... You're kidding.